Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes.
Went down to Waimea Bay. What a fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging round. Surfers going up and down. That's when I caught my wave. Knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore. And it's dreams come true.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Quivercast. I am Mike, your host. Let's get into the show. Welcome everyone to the Quivercast. We are back here in Huntington Beach with Murph.
A lot of the boys call me Murph. My name's Jack Murphy, but
Jack Murphy.
all the boys call me Murph.
How you doing, Murph?
I'm doing great, thanks, Mike. How you doing?
I'm good.
Cool,
How was
cool.
your session out in Huntington today?
It was decent. A lot of the Groms were out there just dominating, but I got a few, I got a couple under my belt.
There was some ripping going on today out there.
For sure.
What brings you to California? Because you're a Jersey guy. You can hear it in your voice.
Straight from Jersey. And, I have friends and family out here. So I came out, I'm out here 65 days. This is my 65th day traveling around California, surfing, visiting family. My little sister lives out here with her husband. A company that I ride for called SRH Clothing out of San Diego. I've been riding for them for 31 years, and they're based out of Malibu. Kevin Zinger, good friend of mine, and just been rovering with him, surfing, did a couple contests, surfed the South Bay Showdown in South Bay at Manhattan Beach, got lucky and won that one. A couple weeks ago, I went over to Redondo Beach, did another one over there, got on the podium and took third, so I'm having a lot of fun.
You're a contest guy. You love contests your whole life or what?
I've been doing them since about 1983. I was about 12 or 13.
Okay.
And a local surf shop where I was living in Florida called West Coast Surf Shop, Ronnie and Jim Brady. And they were all about the Groms, and there was surf contests going. So I got that feeling, and I'm an athlete, man. And I just always like competing, and it's fun. And I just have fun with it,
So contests are fun?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think anything in life is fun if it's what you make of it.
How do you approach a heat?
I approach a heat. Everyone's different,
Right, that's what I'm asking.
So
What Murph does.
Yeah, so basically, I do my breathing exercises. I check the waves, of course, see what's going on, and I really don't look at my competitors. I try not to.
Mm-hmm.
I just go out and do what I like to do, which is surfing. Just see the result at the end. Just do what I do and have fun, like I said, and compete to my best ability.
A lot of contests, you kind of start off surfing mediocre to okay, like middle. Do you feel like you excel as you get more and more heats, or do you kind of just go straight into it, trying to do the best surfing you can? First heat.
My little thing is like, I like to go out, get one right off the bat, get a little confidence.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I believe everything in life is about confidence, especially in the surfing and the heat, So I try to get out there, get one or two under my belt. So I got two, and then I build a little house, you know what I mean? And I know that's used a lot in surfing, but it's true. You build a little house, you get some confidence, you move around. Back to it, just focus on you and what you're doing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had some results. The Belmar Pro.
Yeah, the Belmar Pro, it's a pretty prestigious contest on the East Coast. I guess it's been going over 20-something years.
Wow.
I pretty much surfed in it every year.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some great results, some seconds, some thirds, but I was fortunate enough, 2019, I was able to win the Belmar Pro, and then it was off for 20 because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I backed it up in 2021 with a win. I was super stoked, so back-to-back wins at the Belmar Pro.
I read an article, and they were saying, the Dean Rosado and all these other guys were the big names. You kind of came out of nowhere and just took them.
It's funny, like, I've always looked up to Dean. He's super gnarly surfer, great guy. Yeah, just to be in heats with those guys and make it through and actually win the thing was like super honored to just like be in a heat with a guy like Dean Randazzo. Like, he's super gnarly.
So rad. Who else have you surfed against that you were kind of like always had like?
Oh, dude, I had a heat against Buttons.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, how rad's that?
Oh, it was amazing. It was at the Belmar Pro. I got second that year.
Mm-hmm.
I met Buttons in the semifinal.
Okay.
He was super cool, and it got down to a few. I mean, Reno Abalero, all the boys were there. They were all cheering him on, and it got down to a minute or two, and it got pretty intense there. I got lucky, and I made it out of that heat, and I beat Buttons, and I shook his hand after. So that was a huge day for me, just to meet the guy, let alone be in a heat and win it. You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm.
So anybody else you looked up to?
Oh, geez. There's a lot of people I've surfed against. Hey, listen, when I was a kid, I did some time in Florida. I lived in Florida, on the west coast of Florida, on Anna Maria Island and Holmes Beach. So our high school had a surf team, and I went to New Smyrna, and it was the first year they had the high school championships.
Wow.
So Cocoa Beach's team was Sean Slater, Dave Glasser, Todd Holland, and one other guy I can't remember, but Kelly he was still in grammar school, too young, but he was playing with Tinker Toys on the beach and stuff like that. So it was really cool, man. You know, there's a lot of great surfers from Florida, and you know, I'm a Jersey guy, spent some time in Florida. My parents' jobs were always moving around, so you know, I was always bopping around. Spent many years in Southern California and San Diego. You know, I've been bopping around surfing and doing my thing all over the country and world.
We're gonna stay on this contest thing, and then we'll go backwards. But
okay,
why do you like contests? Is it because of the competition, or is it because of the tribe mentality? Like we're all friends.
Listen, I've had some great camaraderie in heats, and I've had some dudes not so nice in heats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel that I keep doing these contests because it pushes me and it drives me. Listen, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Doing contests and surfing has kept me involved. I look forward to doing contests. Like I came out here, I set this up where I could, you know, do 2 or 3 contests, and it pushed me, and I trained for them, and I feel like it just makes me a better surfer overall. It makes me want to push and go harder.
What about equipment? What are you riding?
I ride Erie People surfboards out of New Smyrna, Florida.
Okay.
Great guy, great shaper. I've been riding his boards for about 10 years now. Basically, the guy changed my life. My surfing's gotten better. My paddling's stronger. The guy's an amazing shaper and an amazing guy. We've become real close, and he shapes me this. It's called the Rocket Fish.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing paddles so well, and it's fast, and it's responsive, and I can't get off it. I'm addicted to this board. And like I said, he basically changed my life with his shapes. It really did.
How so?
I'm just going faster.
Okay.
I'm not falling. You know, my surfing's just better overall, I believe. You know, in my mind, I feel like I'm surfing a lot better than I was on the boards prior I was on, you know?
If you could pick any heat kind of wave conditions, would you pick?
I'd love like head high, a little overhead, glassy, left-right combo platters. You know,
beach break.
Yeah, beach break with a little punch. Because I surf a lot of beach breaks. You know, living in New Jersey, so I'm accustomed to that.
Yeah,
I love point breaks. You know, I love a point break, of course. I don't mind a beach break, a nice punchy beach break with some power.
Okay, that's what it's going to bring you to your peak.
Yeah,
that's what you want. You want your competition at.
Yeah,
against the
Yeah,
East Coast. New Jersey, it gets cold. Well, how did you get into surfing, and how did you get through those cold winters?
So I could tell you the story. It was 1978.
All right.
I started surfing.
8 years old?
8 years old.
Got it.
I was born in 1970. And my uncle surfed. My mom dabbled a little bit, but more so my uncle. There was always surfers around.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, he got a brand new board, bunch of wings on it, flames. This thing was so clean, single fin. I bugged him. He finally took me. I put the beaver tail wetsuit on, right? We go to our local break.
Yeah.
He paddles out with his boy. They have a session. He comes in. I'm talking freezing. It's cold.
Dude,
I'm a little kid, right?
Yeah.
I put this beaver tail wetsuit on. I paddle out. I kind of catch a wave. I'm not going to say I fully stood up and ripped the thing at all, but I stood up kind of and rode this thing. And when I came to the beach, I turned the board over, and his fin was gone. And let me tell you, brah, the ride home wasn't so fun. Pink-bellied, and there it was. I got hazed in the surfing. I never looked back. The next day he came home. I had his skateboard taken apart. I'm trying to put fins in the bottom of the skateboard. And I never looked back. And my uncle, I got to give him a big shout-out, Rich Young. Like, without him, I wouldn't be surfing. Like, he really was a big part of my youth and surfing.
Does he still surf today?
He doesn't, but actually he does a little bit, but not like he used to. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But yeah, he was definitely a big part. You know.
You have this beaver tail on.
Yeah.
You're probably still a little chilly.
Yeah, freezing.
What pushes you to keep going? Most kids are going to be like, I'm over this. It's too cold.
You know, I think seeing him do it, looking up to him a lot,
Okay.
you know, truthfully, and all his friends. And like, I was the type of kid where like, when I'm 8 years old, they're going to try and do their thing at 15 or whatever. And I'm trying to chase them and follow them. And they're hanging me up by my underwear on the hose thing and running.
You thrived on that.
Yes, I did. You know, and I was like, I want to be a part of that tribe that you spoke of. I saw that as a little kid. I was like 5, 6, 7. By 8, I'm like, I want in, dude. Let's do this.
When did you start doing that to other kids? Did you do that?
What's that?
Just harass the other kids?
Oh, yeah.
Later on,
you
when
know,
you get
I was a little
older?
grom, dude. You know, we all had our little cliques and our little, you know, we were hassling kids, dropping in. You know, this is our beach, you know, that whole scene, you know.
Yeah. What was the Jersey scene like?
Jersey
Surfing
scene.
wise.
I grew up at this place called North End in Long Branch, New Jersey.
Okay.
And there's a little white wall there, and there's some great surfers from there. There's this guy, Scott Thompson, and his family, Keith Noonan. There's all types of really great surfers that came from this little white wall. I was in the mix, you know. There was a guy named Roy Walls, great surfer. There's all these guys, and we formed this little group called the NEP, the North End Posse.
North End Posse.
Yeah,
Right.
man, and it started in 1985.
Was this full of localism?
Yeah. It was just little
So,
grom localism, man.
If I was 16, I would have some troubles pedaling out there.
If you came to the wall at North End in 1985, 86, you had a pack of like 10 or 12 hungry little groms letting you know that this was our spot for sure.
All right.
And
Fair enough.
so I grew up there. You know, my mom, they all hung out there. That was our spot. And there was a local surf shop there called Motion Surf Shop. This guy, Mario, he was a big part of my gromhood, giving us boards and stuff like that. And yeah, we had the NEP, man, and we were the crew, and a lot of us excelled in surfing. And at that point, I got, you know, high school was coming up, and I said, you know what? I'm going to throw my hat in this, and I moved out west to San Diego to further my little dream.
Just to surf.
Just to surf.
Once again, how are you getting through these winters?
You know, when we were kids, I was so passionate about it. I would wear a 3 mil with a spring suit over it.
No.
Oh, yeah. Freezing snow on the ground.
Still cold.
Borrowed booties with holes in it.
Wow.
Dedicated, bro. And all of us were. The NEP, we did not a lot, you know, single moms, you know, a lot of us. And whatever it took, you know, of whatever board or suit we could get, we were out there. And it could be snowing, freezing.
What's the water temp?
It gets in the upper 30s.
No.
Yeah, upper 30s, 40s. And very cold, you know what I mean? But the technology now, thank God, you know, we can last a couple hours. And but back then it was all about getting a 3 mil that probably didn't fit you.
Right.
And another spring suit or whatever you could fit on top of that and put a hood on.
Gnarly.
Yeah. So we did that as kids. And I think, you know what it did? Like, it made me the surfer I am today. Back to your question before, I feel like when there's waves in Jersey, you go get it. It doesn't matter if there's snow, rain, sleet, lightning, you're going. Because you know what? That's the Jersey way. We're passionate about what we do.
Describe the wave at the wall. The white wall. Is that what
Well,
you
I'll
call
tell
it?
you, it's changed because they did some pumping in the early 90s, late 80s there, right?
Okay.
So
Let's tell it how it was. How it used to be.
when I was a kid, it was a catcher's mitt. It was always a foot or two bigger than anywhere. There was
gotcha.
There was Beachcomber, there was Public Beach, and there was USO, and then there was Kiernan Beach, and these were all jetties. It reminds me of like Newport Beach jetties,
got it.
52nd and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So it was a catcher's mitt. If it was 1 foot up the way, it was 2 to 3 at North End.
Right on.
And there was always little sandbars, like Beachcomber was like this little left-right combo that would break in the summer. And then Public Beach had these little pilings with another jetty in the middle and a jetty here. And it was just always a lot of fun. It was like a little mini skate park. And you could always count on North End. And it's crazy because even if I wasn't surfing, I was at that white wall. It was like a second home for me. That, like, if we were going out that night, we met at the white wall. If we'd go to the football game that night, we'd meet back at the white wall. You know,
okay.
It was like our spot.
All right. How's it today now? Now describe the wave today.
Yeah, so today it's like they changed in the 90s. They came with the bulldozers. They changed everything. So the break hasn't been the same. It has its moments once in a while. Do I drive by and check it? Occasionally, but not as much as I used to. But I've heard through a couple of the groms, the up-and-comers now, they're checking and they're saying there's a couple peaks here and there. So maybe when I get back after this venture, I'm going to have to get back to the old
Give it a go?
Yeah, back to the stomping grounds.
Okay.
I mean, I have NEP tattooed on me.
Wow.
Yeah, it got that gnarly.
How gnarly was it? Was this like a full-on gang?
I wouldn't say gang, but there were some scraps for sure with some other schools and
that
stuff like that.
mentality, though, definitely.
Full on. We had NEP. We'd put wax up on the wall. NEP. It was gnarly, dude.
Was it so gnarly that some guy that was respectful wanted to paddle out and surf with you guys?
No,
was that happening?
I wouldn't say that. Hey, if the guy had etiquette and he could surf a little bit and
He was respectful.
Yeah, fully. We weren't like, we were respectful.
This wasn't.
But it was heated though.
This wasn't Oxnard in the 80s.
No. But it was definitely.
Sorry, Oxnard.
But you see, we grew up under these guys like Jimmy Hines and Danny Shields and all these legends from North End, right? So we had to come up under them. So we saw how it was. There was, I've been duct taped to a pole naked. Do you know what I mean? Like if you stepped out of line when we were kids, there was consequences.
Yeah.
So we kind of took that mentality, the NEP that we formed in '85, kind of,
Yeah.
we kind of rolled it in and kept going with it.
At what point did you guys kind of disperse, or is there something similar to that going on today?
The NEP, I wouldn't say at that white wall or even in New Jersey anymore, so much, but. Everyone's older now, kids, married, what have you. I moved to California, but the NEP stayed strong. The core, we made up the name, I think it was 85, 86, right around that. And we were in my friend's garage, and we made up the name, and we had our little clique, and we still talk all the time. Some of us still surf together.
How did the conversation come up? And I got to know.
Okay.
How did the conversation come up that you came up with the name?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
actually going to claim it. I am the one who came up with the name. I can say that.
And you said,
I said to
fuck
my boy,
everyone else.
Roy
this
Walls,
is our place.
we were sitting in his garage doing a couple bong rips, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just be 100% honest.
And we did a couple bong rips, and we were sitting there, and I don't know, it just popped in my brain. I was like, we're the North End Posse, dude. I was like, no one can mess with us,
Okay.
I was riding for Gordon Smith at the time. And, I was 16 thinking, maybe I have a little shot at this thing. We're having fun with it. And I'm surfing around. When I say Roy Walls, Keith Noonan, and the list goes on, these guys are really good surfers to this day. You know what I mean?
I bet.
And these guys are charging and ripping. So it's like we had this little clique that pushed each other. It's cool to see those guys in the water still, and we still push each other, give a nod. And we're still the NEP. We all got NEP tattooed on us, so we're still running with it.
Did you guys all go at the same time to get them? Or is this kind of...
No, different times.
All right.
Some of us went at the same time. Yeah.
What's the font?
Each one's different.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What's yours?
mostly Old English.
All right. Old English.
Yeah. Old school. Yeah.
Gangster.
Yeah. Jersey guys trying to keep it gangster.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
You said you spent some time in Florida.
Yeah.
How were you accepted down there?
Oh, dude, I moved down to Florida. Thank God. So I was...
why do you say that?
Just because West Coast Surf Shop. There was a surf shop where I grew up. The Beaver Tail, I'm surfing, but I was just, going with my uncle, getting aboard when I could go. It seemed when I was like 11, when I moved to Florida, I got my own board.
Oh.
Do you understand? I wasn't borrowing uncles no more.
Okay.
And then West Coast Surf Shop was had this little group, not the NEP, but there was a little surf rat group, same mentality that I slipped right into.
Yeah.
Ronnie and Jim accepted me, my family, we lived above the shop. And they got me my first sponsor, Gordon and Smith, and I was fully accepted.
Okay.
And I was on an island called Anna Maria Island, and there were some gnarly individuals there that were down for Anna Maria Island, just like any surf town.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But lucky enough, I was a little grom, and my mom was a good-looking chick, so they were always hooting at my mom and stuff, and I kind of, whatever, figured it out. And then I started figuring it out. I started doing some turns, and Ronnie and Jim saw me one day, and they were started taking me to surf contest. And I think it was 80, I guess it was maybe 84.
Okay.
And I showed up to an ESA contest, and they had, back in the day, they had AA, single A, and triple A. Single A was the lowest division, second A, and then you get the third A if you got the points, right?
All right.
So that day I won the single A, and then I won the triple A, all in one day, and it got in Surfer Mag.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just a write-up, the guy who was running, his name
How
was...
stoked are you?
Oh, my God, dude. It was like I won the world title.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm
believe
13 years old, and
Yeah,
I'm in a
believe you.
magazine. It was just a write-up. This guy, John English, who was running it at the time, Florida contest or whatever. And it was just like Jack Murphy was on fire. Not only did he win the 1A, I still have the clipping. So it was a proud moment. My mom was so stoked. She's like, wow, this is cool. And then soon after that, I think it was a year or two, they got me Gordon and Smith and Oakley. I was going to the East Coast a lot. I surfed in a lot of surf contests at Sebastian Inlet. Kelly was there, all the boys. I'd see his brother and all these people. David Spear, I surfed against a lot. Great surfer from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Florida was awesome to me. I surfed in some really, really awesome contests back then. Now that I think about it, New Smyrna, all the way up and down the coast. And we were on the West Coast, but my mother believed in me, and my stepdad at the time, Robert, was a great guy, and they would get me to every event. I would never miss an event, man.
Cool.
So
at that point, you stay in Florida, but then you go back to Jersey?
I actually don't go back to Jersey at that point. I actually moved to California for a little stint.
Okay.
Up here in Malibu area for a couple years. Then, this is crazy, but I go back to Jersey. I finished high school. But when I was out here as a Grom, I knew about, I had went to San Diego on a Greyhound. And
How old were you?
I was probably like, I went with a family, you know, my family and friends. Yeah.
Okay.
We took a Greyhound down there, and we went surfing, and I saw San Diego. I was like, oh my God. So that was always in my back of my head. Imagine being a little kid in San Diego from Jersey. I'm like, oh my God. So after I graduated high school, I had a little baseball scholarship in Jersey.
Oh, you played baseball too?
Yeah, I played baseball, dude. I had a little scholarship to Palm Beach Junior College to play a little ball.
Cool.
I didn't have the grades, but I could play a little ball. But I went down there, and it just wasn't for me. So what I figured out, I said, I love this surfing thing, So I was just going to surf every day. I wasn't going to school. It just wasn't for me. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to San Diego. Called my parents, said, listen, I got this much money. I got a 1963 Dodge with the gears on the column.
Yeah.
And I sent it. Just turned 18 years old.
Didn't know anybody?
I had one friend who went to San Diego State who let me stay there. He was going to Bali.
Cool.
So I watched his house and his pot plants for him for 3 months, dude. And I got to stay there, and I figured out I met some people, and it made
Did you kill the plants?
No, they stayed alive. It was chronic.
Yeah.
And so I stay out there, and I made my way, got my own apartment, what have you, and I fell in love with San Diego, man. And I linked up with the right people. And I lived in Ocean Beach, Point Loma, every street you can think of from La Jolla to Point Loma, over the years.
So you're getting all these coastal towns, and you're a surfer, and you've lived in several different spots.
Yeah.
Does surfing help you get accepted by your peers?
I think so. If you go out and you have etiquette and you don't paddle out to the peak and just think you're every wave Dave.
There you go.
And you show the locals respect and, hey, man, good wave. I've had...
Good attitude.
Yeah, just a good attitude, positive. And then if you can maybe get a turn off and show them you can surf a little bit and you have etiquette, it kind of works out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm a people person. I like to talk to people, and I like to meet new people. And some of my best friends are around the world, that I met. So I did that San Diego thing for several years. I rode for South Coast Surf Shop in Ocean Beach.
Yeah.
They got me Billabong wetsuits at the time. And here comes the company that changed my life, if you want to go into that.
Sure.
A gentleman by the name of Kevin Zinger, I talked to him about in the beginning of the interview. I was doing all the contests around the beaches in Mission Beach, La Jolla, PB, all over, all the way up into Del Mar, where have you. And I was doing pretty good. I was getting some results. I won a couple in Ocean Beach at Avalanche, and I was always in the mix, getting 2nd, 4th, 5th, 13th, but I was always in the mix and never burned any bridges with anyone, just always good vibes, So then I'm about 21 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always going to these clubs, and Pennywise is playing, Offspring's playing, Sublime's playing. And there's this dude in there, and he's like 19, and I'm like, who's this kid with all the chicks and everything going on? I want to be a part of that. So I would go up to Kevin, what's up, my name's Murphy, bro, I surf, I want to, and it wasn't a clothing line at the time. It's called SRH Clothing. And it wasn't a clothing line at the time. He would just make little flyers, and he would have bands play at bars. So I would bring him my content.
So he's a promoter.
He was a promoter, correct. And he had a great guy named Ryan White was his partner. These chicks would go on the computer at the time and give him all my results. And I'd be like, Kev, here's my results at the bar. And he'd put them in his pocket, put them in his pocket, put them in his pocket. So one night I won a pretty decent event. There was some good guy, David Eggers, all those guys were in it. And somehow I won this event, right? So Kevin said, all right, dude, let's do this. I'll meet you next week. I'll give you 20 hats, 20 T-shirts. I'll get some jeans done. Let's do this.
What was the game plan? I don't think you explained it.
As far as what?
He was a promoter, but there was no clothing company.
There was no clothing lines.
You were telling him, let's make a clothing line.
Let's make a clothing line. Let's do this, dude. I want to surf for you, bro. Let's do this. You got a great logo. You've got everything going. Let's make a clothing line.
Kevin surfs.
Yeah, and I think he had that he had it in the back of his mind. I think I just help the cause. You know what I mean? Okay. I think him and Ryan were planning on doing a clothing line eventually, but I think me bugging him, love you, Kev, bugging him to the point where he was like, let's do this. This kid's passionate. He believes in it, and let's give him a shot. So he gives me 20 hats, 20 T-shirts, picks me up after Pennywise played the night before, picks me up the next day. We smoke a spliff. He had these white jeans, and he was going to get them dyed at the time. So he goes to get it dyed at the time, and it was just a regular spade. It was just like a regular spade that was on a card at the time. Now it's like an elongated spade. Mm-hmm. He said, Murph, here we go. Let's do this. So I'm entering some contests. He's paying for them, sending me around. And
what are you doing with these shirts and these hats, these 20 hats and shirts?
I'm wearing them, giving them to people, promoting, blah, blah,
okay.
All that type of stuff. And now in the interim,
pushing the brand.
Right. And Kevin's a gnarly surfer himself. So he's been in the biz for years. He knows Christian Fletcher, all these people from San Clemente and Herbie and all them. And he's a great surfer himself. So here comes Joe Cremo. Okay. And Justin Madison on the team.
Wow.
So it's me, Joe, and Justin traveling around Southern California doing contests and what have you. Gavin Bession's in the mix. He's riding for, other Volcom at the time, but he was still hanging with us and all that jazz. Joe, God bless him. Joe passed not long ago, good friend of mine. He was doing things that way ahead of his time. Him and Justin were just super gnarly. So surfing around those guys was great. They kind of let me hang with them. They take me to lowers and do all that type of stuff. So we made a surf movie called One Tuck, No Glue. Okay. And Justin and Joe were in it, including myself and a bunch of other riders from San Diego. And the movie came out great. And
can you find that movie today? Is it on YouTube?
It's out. Yep.
Where is it at?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, One Tuck, No Glue. So that came out, and it kind of justified the company. Kevin's a smart guy. He's a businessman. He's got, I don't even know how many companies he owns right now, but he just took over the Sublime estate and all that jazz. So he's very involved. He just made it happen. He's a go-getter, this guy. And he changed my life. He believed in me, a Jersey guy, which is like, okay, really? This California kid's going to believe in me. And here we are 31 years later. He said, Murph, you come with me, I'll keep you to the end. You're so passionate. And I was the first guy to get SRH tattooed on me. Now there's thousands, I'm just that guy. And he just believes in me to this day. Like this contest I'm doing here in Huntington, Kevin pushed it. You know what I mean?
So cool.
So it's like he still believes in me 31 years later. And it's not only did I get a great company, a lifestyle to ride for all these years, but I got a best friend out of it. You know what I mean? And this guy, we're just tight, man. And like, it's just a good vibe. And I'm lucky to have him in my life. Like I said, without a guy like Kevin in my life, I don't know where I'd be, So big props to Kevin Zinger.
Yeah. Kevin sounds rad.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy.
He'll be on the show one day.
I hope so. You guys need to link up. He's got a gnarly story.
I bet.
Yeah.
So now you're a sponsored surfer, and how's the company going? Do you know?
I'll tell you what, we had a great run in the 90s, man. Things were great.
I remember seeing that all over the place.
Yeah, it was huge. And not only did he have the surfers, the skaters, the snowboarders, he had his record label. So he had all these bands. He'd do compilations with and I'm in the mix. I'm his sidekick. So I'm his turtle of Entourage. Okay. Do you understand? I'm with him. Yeah. I'm with him all the time. So I'm getting
good times.
Good times, bro. I'm at these shows now. I think about it. I'm like, did that really just happen? Like, we'd wake up and I'd be like, holy cow. And the chicks and just everything was great. The 90s were a good time. I feel like it's crazy, but like my life's caught in the 90s. My surfing's caught in the 90s. My music's caught in the 90s.
Those are your heydays. Yeah. That's what happens.
But you know what's cool? The 90s are cool again. So am I cool? I don't know.
Yeah, I say you're cool. Yeah. The raddest thing about SRH is you didn't say what it stands for.
Supporting Radical Habits.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. It's something special. Like I said, it's more than a brand. It's a lifestyle.
Okay.
And it's a brotherhood. I mean, shit, to keep a guy around 31 years and keep my dream alive, it's just amazing. It's just awesome.
And recently there was a shirt.
Kevin, on our 30-year anniversary together, he surprised me on my birthday, and he came out with a Jack Murphy signature T-shirt on SRH that's sold out, I want to say 8 or 10 times.
Wow, that's cool.
And word on the street is, I had a meeting with him the other day. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I think they're gonna drop it again. Cool. It's gonna come out because it did so well. I don't know when, but I think 2024, the Jack Murphy T-shirt will be back on SRH.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
That's this year.
Yes, yeah, that's this year.
So rad.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the parties you guys were going to.
Insane.
Like, so you said some of the bands, some of the biggest bands, even still today.
Yeah.
Pennywise.
And what's cool? Because of Kevin, and being at those shows, I become friends with Jim from Pennywise, Fletcher from Pennywise. All these people that I've known for 30 years, I met through SRH, And I said it before, I SRH changed my life for the better. I can't even tell you, like, I'm a lifer, bro.
Yeah.
And I ain't going nowhere. So.
All right. Talk about the parties.
Oh, yeah.
What's the craziest thing that ever happened?
Oh, God.
That you can say on the air.
Man, that's a tough one. Let me think.
I bet you it's a blur, a lot of it.
A lot of it's a blur for sure. I could say this. The chicks were out of control and the drugs were clean. You didn't have to test them.
Okay.
And no, it was just good times, good parties, you know, just seeing the live music, you know, the live music was where it was at. Seeing an Offspring back then or a Pennywise. There was a band called Snot. You remember Snot?
I do not remember Snot.
Snot was
be
insane.
honest.
The lead singer, he passed, unfortunately, but they were a gnarly band.
Like a punk band?
Yeah, they were like a hardcore band. They were super rad. And there were bands like Cadillac Tramps.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had every band. Korn. I got one for you.
There you go.
So the first time MTV had their MTV party at Mission Bay Park over there,
Okay.
Kevin had Korn play.
Yeah.
And this was before Korn was anyone. They were nobody.
Yeah.
And he had a half pipe in the middle of Mission Bay and Korn come out and play. And I'm like, who are these dudes?
It was hard.
Yeah. So,
Heavy.
you know, we got to see all I was seeing trends.
You were seeing
I was seeing
the start.
the start of trends. Yeah. And now that all these years later, I look back and I'm like, I didn't realize how lucky I really was, like, just to see things start and then watch it just progress and be like, I was there when that dude played his, first deal.
Were you ever in the business of the music?
I was. Kevin, after my little surfing dream, not that it's over by any means, but I just wasn't doing as much contests and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And so
Getting a little older.
Yeah, getting a little older and, still surfing every day. I don't miss a day. If it's 1 feet to 10 feet, I'm going. But being around Kevin again, there was always bands trying to get to him through me. So, and I was always in the mix. I helped out Unwritten Law get signed to the label Suburban Noise. I put that all together with Kevin. I was, with Kevin, I set the seed a lot. And then he makes it grow.
Okay.
So, like the other day, we met a movie producer who did Mavericks. Came up to me. We start talking.
Oh.
I'm a people person. He's a director of Mavericks. Now, I set the seed with him and Kevin. Now, him and Kevin are doing something.
Oh,
so
cool.
that's just an example where I've been able to set the seed over the years. And I believe Kevin would,
He runs with it.
Yeah, he runs with some. Hey, some have worked, some have not, I'll tell you. But
he's a businessman, so he understands if it needs to or wants to go.
And he told me.
Sounds like.
He told me one day, he's like, Murph, listen. You've come to me with some whack ideas, but you've come to me with more better ideas. So if you don't ever feel like you can't tell me something, just tell me, because most of the things you tell me are good. So keep it going.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
you're very high energy, kind of like a stoke rom. So is that always there?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, listen, I'm just such
a good energy.
I'm just a stoke dude who I'm getting older now, so I can't let this surfing thing go. I never will. So my whole mindset, Mike, is like, I'm pushing harder now than I ever have, because one day I'm not going to be able to do this. And listen,
I don't know.
I'm not the best surfer. I'm not the worst surfer. I just love surfing and I just never want to stop. And surfing gives me this vibe, this energy. That little session, that little turn I had this morning, I'm vibing. I'm good.
Okay.
My day's better.
Have you had a period in your life where you weren't surfing?
Yeah.
And how was life?
It wasn't good. It was miserable. Yeah, not that I wasn't surfing. There was a couple months throughout my life at one point where I was just in a funky place and I wasn't surfing and it was the worst time of my life. I'll never do that again. And it was more of a health thing that I had to take some time off.
Okay.
And it was just kind of crushing me the whole time. And I wanted back. Listen, it wasn't long, but even that little time off. Listen, I haven't stopped surfing since I was a little kid,
Wow. Since 8 years old.
Yeah, I never stopped.
Wave pools. Have you surfed wave pools?
Yeah, I've been to Waco. I've been to the American Dream. And Kevin Zinger on our 31-year anniversary was nice enough to take me to Kelly Slater's pool a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me all those waves, what they're like.
It's insane. It's if you can get there. It's a little expensive.
The Kelly one.
Yeah, obviously. But it's a lot of fun. It's a perfect wave. It's all they say it is and more. The staff, can't say more about the staff. You walk through those doors, you feel like Kelly. They're so accommodating. They're so nice. The food's off the charts. The vibes. You want to talk about a stoked Grom.
Yeah.
I was out of my skin
Frothing?
that day. I got a call from Kevin. He's like, can you be out here by November 28th? I'm like, for what? He goes, I'm going to take you to Kelly's pool for your 31 years of riding for SRH. I'm like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect. I mean, Kevin's got the thing wired. I think he's been there over 50 times.
He's been there a lot.
Yeah, he rips
on his Instagram.
Yeah, he rips that pool. Yeah, I went there and I was able to catch 6 waves.
That's a lot.
I'll be honest, I blew one of them.
Was that the first one?
No, it was the second one.
Okay.
And
Fair.
I blew one. But Kevin blew one too. And he said, Murph, don't feel bad. Everyone blows one.
Of course.
So.
Is it nerving?
A little bit because it's $500 a wave.
Oh, fuck.
You know?
So you get in your head? Is that what you're saying? I mean,
well, you know,
I feel like I would get in my head.
A little bit. Because you don't want to miss it. And there's a lot of direction. There's a girl, Jeff Booth's daughter was my little coach in the water.
Oh.
Yeah, she was rad. She was so cool. I forget her name, but she was really nice. And anyway, so she would be like, all right, start paddling, Murph. There's a building and you got to paddle towards this building. Mm-hmm. And if you paddle towards the fence, you're not getting the wave. So that's in your head, the first couple times.
So there's literally like a
there's markers. Yeah. Yeah. So if I'm paddling, so here's the fence, right, Mike? You want to paddle towards this building. If you paddle this way, you're not going to get it. You know what I mean? So that happens. And then there's a little, if you're on the left, they call it a crumble.
Okay.
And it happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
And if it crumbles, which the one I missed, you're supposed to paddle towards the fence. I didn't know that. So I did miss the one way, but it's okay. Word on the street is Kevin says I'm going back March 15th. So
there you go.
Maybe I'll get a little rebirth.
Dude, that's rad. What about Waco? What's your thoughts?
Waco was cool. I was down there. Ben Gravy was there. You know Ben?
Yeah. I don't know him, but I know of him.
Great dude. Talk about good energy. Another friend of mine.
Okay.
I was down there and Ben just happened to be there. It was before Waco opened. We were down there. Ben was testing it for them.
Oh, nice.
And we got in before it opened to the public, me and a group of friends. And it was really cool. We had a great time. It's fun. It's shorter than Kelly's, of course. But you can get repetition after repetition after repetition. And if you're working on a maneuver, you can get it done there. And it's cheaper.
Does it translate to being at Huntington Beach at the pier? Are the waves similar?
I'll tell you this.
Or are they completely different?
It's different, but let me tell you this. After surfing Kelly's pool, I'm not even just saying this. I put what I did in that pool that day, and after my next few sessions, I put that into play in the ocean.
Okay.
With my
So it made you a better surfer?
I think so.
All right.
I think so. I think I took a couple things from that pool and I was like, whoa, I can do that at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've been putting a little bit on the play, and I think if I can get back there, I want to get back there. I got to get back to that place. It's like Disneyland for adults, for surfers, dude. It's insane.
Yeah.
And the food and the instructors are just so cool and nice, and all the chicks there are cool. It's just something. You're Kelly for the day.
There you go. You're king.
Yeah, you're the king for the day.
That's rad.
Yeah.
So how do you stay healthy for surfing? How do you stay away from injuries and stuff like that? Getting older.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about being an older surfer.
Totally.
You're not old by any means.
I'm getting up there.
In 10, 15,
it's all
20 years.
that whole thing is mindset for me.
That's your stoke?
Yeah, that's my stoke mindset.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot in life. You think you're sick, you're going to be sick. You think you're old, you're going to be old.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm a middle-aged man who loves surfing, and I'm just going to keep going, bro. You know, so what was the question?
Just to stay healthy, stay
my diet.
Injury-free.
I'm big on my diet. I eat oatmeal and berries a lot in the morning. I eat a light lunch, and I'm like 80-20, Mike. I do 80% good, and I cheat with a little mashed potatoes at dinner. And I'm a sweets guy. But I do a nice lemon water. I'm on that trip. And I eat healthy, and I surf a lot. And if I'm not surfing, I take bike rides or walk or jog. I'm active.
Okay, there you go.
You know what I mean?
I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah, I keep active, you know, like...
hey, does that coffee you have with your... keep you active?
The coffee. Let's talk about the coffee. Coffee Surf out of Belmar, New Jersey. Great friend of mine, Barry Peterson. We've been friends for over 30 years, and he started this coffee company called Coffee Surf, like I said, about 10 years ago. Amazing coffee. It's ground in Red Bank, New Jersey, at one of the best roasters in the country, I'm being told. So he came to me with this project about 5 months ago, I guess it was.
Okay.
And he's like, dude, you are the eternal Grom. He's like, you surf 1 foot, 2 feet. You're always out there. You don't miss it. You're always in here for your little cup of coffee. He's like, we need to do a bag of joy, Grom for life, Murphy bag. And I'm like, let's do this. So we tested some bean out. We tested this, tested that.
So you helped pick the blend?
Totally, 100%.
Wow. All right.
So we picked all that. I tasted a lot of coffee, spit it out, that whole deal.
Okay.
And then Barry said, you like this one? I said, let's go with this one. It's a nice medium roast.
Mm-hmm.
It's available on coffeesurf.com. So coffeesurfco.com.
And they'll ship it to your house?
And they'll ship it right to your house. It's amazing coffee. It's not just your novelty bag of coffee, like, oh, we just put that out because Jack Murphy's doing it.
Yeah.
We put it out for people to enjoy coffee, to feel like a Grom.
Being a Grom's good.
Isn't it?
Are you ever like wake up in the morning and be like, dude, I'm just not feeling it? Or do you always feel
No, I
the
can't.
stoke?
I mean, listen, no, every day isn't perfect, bro.
Okay,
But,
there you go.
I'd be lying if I said that because, that just wouldn't be true. But some days, I wake up and I'm a little off, but I have this breathing exercise that I do 7 minutes a day, and it changed my life, man. I do these little breathing exercises in the morning, and it just sets my day right. So I've been on that for a while, and it kind of changed my life for the better as far as like setting my mind and my body and everything up. You know what I mean?
Does surfing ever get boring for you?
Never. No. Hey, well, you know what? Like some days I'll take a day or two, like, because living in New Jersey, you get time off, right?
Okay.
So I don't find...
Not by choice.
Not by choice.
Got it.
So out here, like I've been out here 65 days. I've been surfing every single day. Like the other day, I took 2 days off to get hungry. I got these contests coming
Got
up.
it.
Maybe rest a little
Good
bit.
idea.
Let the body rest a little bit. But I'm out there every day for the most part if there's a wave,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're the same guy as you were in the 80s, 90s? Or have you changed?
I think I'm better.
You've changed.
Yeah. I'm just wiser, smarter,
There you go.
stronger. No more hangovers in life, 9 years. That's
Okay.
a big part of it.
Quit drinking?
Yeah, no drinking.
Was drinking fun?
Drinking was fun, because we're at all those parties. Drinking was a lot of fun. But I was out on tour with a good friend, Kyle from Slightly Stupid. I guess it was about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And I got a hangover. We had a great night. Woke up in a city that I wasn't supposed to wake up in.
Uh-oh.
Hungover. And it lasted about a week. And I said, bro, your surfing was weak, that lane.
So you're talking to yourself?
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, you surfed like crap all week. You feel like shit. It's over. You had a great run. Look how much partying you've done. So I think ever since that has been out of my life, I've been able to push it's me not being all hungover and partying is a high in itself.
Okay.
I get off on not being all hammered. I like to be in control in life, and like,
but all those years you weren't.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was.
So you didn't know.
I was out of control.
Right. So you didn't know you liked the feeling of being in control.
No, I didn't.
I know this is getting deep, but
No, it's okay. I'm all about deep, because,
curious.
Some things have happened in life. I've really never even talked about it publicly, but I'm going to go ahead right now. Maybe I'll touch someone's life, and I feel comfortable around you.
Yeah.
I almost died April 23rd of 2013.
Oh, wow.
I had a heart attack, and I was 10 minutes from death.
Wow.
So it was some hereditary stuff, but I was living life fast. I'm going to be honest with you. I was living fast. All you Groms out there, take note of what I'm saying. So long story short, I had the heart attack. The doctors talked to me. They told me what was up. They're like, listen, your life's in your hands. We're going to tell you what to do. You can either do it, and we'll see you in 40 years if you do what I tell you. If not, I'll see you back here in a month, or I'll be at your funeral because I like you.
Wow.
I was like, no problem, doc. So ever since that day, I changed my life. And I'm telling all you people out there who are partying, I'm not a hater on partying. I'd be a hypocrite if I said that. Keep raging, go big. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is like, if you're trying to pursue something in life or surfing or what have you, like, and your health and all that stuff, like, just pay attention to what you're doing and be smart, because I'm living proof. I got a wake-up call. The man upstairs, God gave me a second chance, and I've taken it very, very serious. I've won a lot of contests since then. I've done a lot of great surfing since then. I've had T-shirts, coffee, all these great things have happened since I've changed my life. Not that I didn't have great things going on prior to that. I had a great time partying and all that jazz, but like, I don't know. these past 10 years, 12 years have been just amazing, you know?
Wow. One question on that is, did the partying, is that what caused it, or is it just hereditary?
They said I had a big cholesterol thing. And
okay.
Let's be honest, the living fast at night
Doesn't
and
help.
partying wasn't helping the
No,
situation.
no,
You know what I
no,
mean?
yeah.
And let me tell you, I was having the best time in life. You know what I mean? But now looking back, when I was getting 5th at the San Diego contest, because I was out at Pennywise the night before doing what have you, you know, the grommets out there. Don't go to the party the night before the contest. Wait till the contest is over and go to the after party.
If you care about results.
Exactly. And, you know, I
and there's some guys that can pull it off otherwise.
Yeah.
But,
And, you know, I was pulling it off. I was still getting thirds and fifths and I was still in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no.
But you're looking back at it today.
Yeah. And there's no regret because I was having the best time in life. I'm just stating a point that, like, yeah, man, I had a little bit of health issue. I think that wake up call helped me my life overall because look where I am now.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Good words.
Yeah.
You seem to be around this music business all these years.
Yeah.
Has music changed? Your thoughts, or do you have any?
I think music's changed, of course, how people get it. You
Okay,
know,
how
like
they
the
get it.
streams and CDs and all that.
Yeah. The scene.
The scene's way different. I think it was a little more core back then. You know,
How so? Raw.
Yeah, the people at the shows. Just I still go to shows. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
I
yeah.
still watch them, and I mean, it just seems like the pits were a bit gnarlier. The kids everyone was just a bit gnarlier back then. You know what I mean? In my eyes, I don't know. That's just how I feel. Now, you know.
So tell us all about this new surf series you're going to be surfing.
It's called the U.S. Pro Tour.
Okay. So
And I believe
let's give them a little publicity because
yeah, totally. It seems like great guys. Jerry Lehman, I believe, is the guy who's running it.
Okay.
There's guys like Jim Hogan in it, Mike Latronic, Dave Giddings, all these great guys that were back in the Bud Pro Tour days.
All right.
And I'm being told that this is the first event. Then there's one in Oceanside. So I think they're trying to get like there's a pro junior locked in. There's a pro, and then there's a Masters Pro for 50 and over, and that's the one I'm involved in.
So fun.
Yeah, it's so rad for us guys that are still living our dream at that age and still want to do contests and still make a couple bucks and have a couple sponsors that believe in you. So it keeps you in the mix, you know? So I saw that was on there, and I based my trip around, you know, doing this event kind of too. And here I am. It's the weekend of it. I feel confident. I've been surfing the pier every day, and I'm just going to have fun with it. There's some great names. There's some legends in there. So to be one of the guys even in this event, I'm just honored and stoked to be in it.
And with names like that and your name and all these other guys' names, it seems like good audience. Like, gives you something to go watch some heats.
Yeah.
Because the pro events are so far between in California, even East Coast.
Right.
There's very few events to go watch top-notch surfers.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's going to grow. You know, I hope it grows to where you see like Dino and like all the boys.
Right.
You know, those
like
guys.
Legends,
Hopefully they
Masters Division.
They see this as a great first event.
It sounds cool.
You know what I mean? And there's money. You know, there's a few grand you can win.
Wow.
And it breaks down. You know, all the way to I think a third place finish gets you some cash. Or fourth place finish gets you some cash if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
And the guys seem really cool. They were like. They're super inviting and very cool. So I'm excited for the weekend, man. We'll see. I'll throw my little East Coast talent in there and see what I could do. Maybe, hey, my goal right now, let me make one heat at a time.
Is that how you approach contests?
Yeah, fully. Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
You're never thinking I'm going to win this thing?
Well, sometimes every event I can say I want to go in that I'm winning it, but it's one heat at a time. You know, like,
Fair.
Of course I want to go in and win.
Back to how everyone approaches it differently.
Yeah. Of course I want to win, but I take it at one heat at a time. I get through that heat. All right, what's the next plan? Let's go.
All right.
You know?
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about you still living this dream. Mm-hmm. How do you make this dream happen? Like, mentally, first off? Mm-hmm. I guess we've talked about it at the stoke,
a little bit.
The stoke level.
Yeah.
How do you get to go East Coast, West Coast kind of traveling?
I work my butt off 7 months a year at a restaurant. I live in a little beach town called Seabright, New Jersey. Yeah. And we shut down Ghost Town for 5 months. Ooh. So I'm able to travel, and that guy, Kevin Zinger, and I have a couple other sponsors that I hit them up, give them an itinerary of what I'm doing. They believe in me. I have probably like 8 companies that still believe in me. It's kind of crazy.
Cool.
And
I think your attitude.
I never burned a bridge.
Stoke.
Yeah, man. I never burned a bridge. And I want to help the Groms. I coach some kids in surfing through a surf shop called Lucky Dog Surf Shop in Seabright. we've had up to 24 kids at a time, and there are kids that it's not lessons, it's kids that want to get to the next level.
Okay.
So
Coaching.
I want to try and give back to the sport that's given so much to me, you know, like, and I always had like an older dude take me under his wing and like show me the route, you know, and that's why I think I am where I am today. You know, I have respect, etiquette. Like I said before, man, I just love surfing and everything that comes with it, man.
What is the scene like today in New Jersey? Is it the same as it was when you were a kid?
It's stronger.
It's stronger.
gnarlier.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's good to hear. I'd love to hear that.
We've had some swells recently, a little bit of FOMO. I missed 2 or 3 swells recently that were bombs.
Pumping.
Yeah, some of the biggest swells we've ever had. But yeah, there's guys like Sam Hammer, there's Gessler, and then there's a lot of young guns coming up. God, I can't even think of some of the kids. Michael Sibilia is a kid from my area, kids charging. There's some great shapers from my area. These kids, Justin Perry has a little crew of guys. They're shaping some boards over there in New Jersey, and a lot of people are picking them up. I just saw Sam on one of Justin Perry's boards the other day, Sam Hammer.
Wow.
So these kids are shaping some boards, his buddy Tommy and James, and they're doing it right. So that's nice to see. They're a good group of kids that I feel they're keeping it rootsy, and they're doing it the right way in my local town, and I really like to see that, you know.
Is there any difference between East Coast, West Coast, surfing wise?
I think the East Coast guy, I mean, listen, there's no East Coast, West Coast beef whatsoever like that or anything. I think
Right.
I think the East Coast guys we're just hungry and scrappy. You know what I mean? Because we don't get the waves that you guys do out here, you know?
think we're spoiled over here a little bit? You can say it.
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say
I'm
spoiled.
putting words in your mouth. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I apologize.
I wouldn't say spoiled, but you guys got waves every day. So it's like,
Okay.
you guys can stay in tune so much more than us, I feel like. So when it does come to us, I feel like it's made us, especially Jersey guys, we're just scrappy people, individual. Like, it don't matter surfing, basketball, baseball, we're just scrappy. We're scrappy. But I feel like people from Jersey, for the most part, like surfers, are really cool people, man. We're super mellow. We have etiquette. We surf big, cold water. We charge. And I feel like traveling around the world my whole life, I've gotten some respect being from Jersey. It's kind of crazy. Like in Hawaii and Kauai and stuff, they're like, "Oh, dude, you're from Jersey?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like giving me respect. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
Different world than Hawaii, of course, or California.
Yeah.
What about like traveling up and down? Like, is Jersey just basically beach breaks, the whole state?
Yeah, it's all beach breaks. I have one spot that breaks pretty well by me. It's a sand bottom, but it goes for like 150, 200 yards
Really?
on the right day. Yeah.
Interesting. What about taking travels up north? You ever go up that way?
I do. I go to Montauk, Long Island. Will Scuden and all the boys are up there in Long Island. Those kids charge, you know, where Ballarama Stack's from.
Yep.
So all those cats are super cool. Dave Wan's got a surf shop up there, and all those guys are really cool. So I make my way up there.
What about Maine or?
I haven't been up to Maine.
Okay.
But
You need to.
yeah, I do. But yeah, I get around. I go to Virginia Beach. I've done the ECSC a couple times.
Yeah.
So I go down south, you know. I go to Florida every once in a while and surf. But, you know, I spend a lot of time in the Caribbean. You know, I go to the Caribbean in the winters.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
So I'm down there roving.
East Coast Hawaii.
Yeah. You know, Puerto Rico. There's, you know, like Barbados, Tortola. There's all these little islands, and they're like $50, $75 to fly to each of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Super cheap.
you get down there and you just bop around.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have some friends in Costa Rica. You know, Mike, all these years I've just made friends with all these people. So
Yeah.
I can go back to your question. I can go to these places because I have a place to stay. Here's a car, Murph. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that enables me to go to these
Right,
places.
you're not getting $300 hotel rooms.
Correct. You know, so I just, everywhere I went, I kind of left my little
You live
stamp.
on a surfer's budget.
Yeah, I leave
I
my
love
little
that.
stamp. I leave a bunch of SRH clothing, good, whatever I got, you know, and I'll see you next year. Okay, Murph, we'll see you next year.
That's right.
You know, so,
Rad.
yeah.
Well, Murph, thank you for coming on the Quivercast. It was super fun. I love your
Yeah.
energy, man.
Thanks, bro. It was good chatting with you. I appreciate it. Just a big shout out to all my sponsors, you know, SRH and all the boys down there at SRH keeping me going. My mother, my sister, just everybody, man. Coffee Surf, all my boys, just everyone who believes in me and my little dream and what I'm doing. And like I said, we're just getting started. It sounds crazy, but I'm ready. I'm ready for another 20.
There you go.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're motivating us all.
Yeah.
Motivated me for sure. All right, everybody. This is Mike and Murph, and we're out of here. All right, thanks, Murph.
Later, bro.
What a fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging round. Surfers going up and down. That's when I cut my wave. Knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore. And it's fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging around, surfers going up and down. When I caught my wave, knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore. Yes, my dream came true.
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.